Welcome to Castleton Videomagazine. I'm Brianna Allen Rickstad.
And I'm Nicole Irwin.
In an unexpected verdict, 152 former members of the Bangladesh Rifles, a military border security unit, were sentenced to death in a connection with the bloody mutiny that took place back in 2009. The mutiny consisted of several thousand troops taking control of their headquarters, demanding better work conditions, and murdering scores of people in the process. This verdict is rare due to the fact that Bangladesh is one of the least frequent users of the death penalty among countries that allow capital punishment.
This past week, Hallmark greeting cards announced that they will be eliminating its party wear business and at least 250 jobs from their Kansas City factory. The Kansas Star reports that 125 to 150 jobs will be cut over the next 15 to 20 months and another 100 positions the following year. Hallmark says it's because the department is not meeting its revenue expectations. Hallmark has about 3,200 employees in Kansas City and roughly 12,000 worldwide. Now with Ben with entertainment.
This past Friday, the Fireside Cafe at Castleton hosted singer Rebecca Lobe, a graduate of Berklee School of Music. Lobe was a contestant on the first season of NBC's singing competition, The Voice. Lobe made it to the battle rounds before being eliminated. She has released 4 albums since 2004, her most recent in 2011 titled Bees and Zombies. The Campus Activities Board organized the event, and it was the second time Lobe has performed at Castleton. The sequel to the popular book series, The Hunger Games trilogy, Catching Fire the movie, is set to release this November the 22nd. For those who follow the story, Katniss and Peeta have now become targets of their powerful dictatorship. After challenging authority and defying the rules of the games, there can only be one winning survivor. They are once again set back to compete in the games, only this year the 75th anniversary. They will be fighting amongst experienced killers, all past winning victors of the Hunger Games. With another deadly fight to finish, a love triangle and the bubbling rebellion towards Panem's capital, Catching Fire proves to be as captivating as the first. Marcia Wallace, voice actor on the popular TV show The Simpsons, died of complications from pneumonia on October 25th at her home in Los Angeles at the age of 70. Wallace appeared in 178 episodes in all, voicing a grumpy 4th grade teacher named Edna Krabappel. Sunday's edition of The Simpsons paid tribute to Wallace. The episode starts off with a message displayed on the blackboard that says, "We'll really miss you, Mrs. K." Executive producer Al Jean decided to retire her irreplaceable character in honor of her memory.
Zombies ran wild all throughout Castleton campus last week, and I was there earlier to capture the action. The Zombie run by Residence Life. There's a big prize on the line, and soon everyone will be running through campus.
This is part of Residence Life Fall Fest. Basically, what all the community advisors try and do is create this couple days full of lots of programs to get people out and about, meeting everyone, and kind of give alternative programming for this time of year. So our staff decided we wanted to do some sort of an obstacle course, but since it's a little hard to create obstacles, we decided to make it zombies. So the obstacles, I guess, are the zombies. You have to dodge them, and in order to win, you can't be tagged by a zombie.
All right. Are you ready? Yeah. 4 minute go.
It's been great. We had almost 40 people on the starting line, so that was probably about what we were expecting. The first male and female winner win a $150 gift certificate of sorts. Basically, you can go onto Nike and create your own shoe. So it's really fun, really cool, and then the school's essentially footing the bill for a certain amount.
What made you want to do the race?
Free Nikes.
I really wanted to do the race because it's awesome and it's Halloween, and I wanted the thrill of being chased by zombies and maybe dying.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Emma.
And how did you get involved with this?
Through Residence Life.
Nicole Irwin, CSC News, Castleton. Jim Lewis, 61, a carpenter from St. Albans with his son Ryan Lewis, shot a moose on Island Pond and Silvio Conte National Fish and Wildlife Refuge late Saturday. Lewis thought it was a great eye-opener for people to see the comeback for the moose population. Vermont's moose population is about 2,500. The long-range management plans to call to raise the population from 3,000 to 5,000 animals. The moose hunt was reinstituted in Vermont in 1993, almost a century after the legislature afforded the animal protection, making it illegal to shoot them. So now it's a celebration to moose hunters for them to be able to get back to it.
The Vermont Department of Fish and Wildlife is encouraging landowners to make their properties available to hunters. According to the department, the amount of posted land has roughly doubled between 1971 and 2011, which is about 100,000 acres to 230,000 acres. Studies also found that the hunting license sales have also been on the decline, from about 91,000 licenses sold in 1987 to about 73,000 sold in 2004.
I didn't.
With the holidays fast approaching, students are using the time to study abroad. I was there earlier to capture the story. Castleton Campus Center. Castleton State College may be a small school, but the number of opportunities are growing each year. Everything from clubs and organizations, the programs are increasing in popularity. One of the most popular programs offered is the Study Abroad program.
The last 15 years, I've been taking students to Asia, to countries like Tibet, Nepal, India, Thailand, Bhutan. And over that period of time, I've taken almost 1,800 students with me to this part of the world. And it's been a very rewarding experience, and that's why I continue to do it.
The real reason I went was for a little bit more than that, like just the cultural experience. Like the academic part was amazing, but that's just like a side note. And then this most recent summer I went to India, and it's completely different than the culture here. And so I feel like I was able to learn a lot just from being there for 3 weeks. It was really incredible.
Inside the classroom, you're just learning about it from textbooks and your teachers, and it's good education, but definitely to immerse yourself in the culture and the philosophies is completely different. It's a whole nother world compared to sitting in a classroom.
From Tibet to Nepal, Castleton State College students are taking full advantage of every opportunity offered to them. The world is literally your campus. I'm Brianna Allen Rickstead, signing off with Castleton Videomagazine. Now over to Spencer with Sports Update.
Reports say further investigation. Incognito sent messages. Incognito were not a shock to his friends and former teammates. It has been rumored that Incognito has been seen as a tortured soul with underlying issues that have not been resolved, including signs of depression. This will be the fourth team that Incognito has been released from. The NFL has warned Incognito by fining him for his behavior in the past, but his reputation as being one of the dirtiest players in the NFL has created a world of marketing around him. A player who was known as a bullying victim while growing up has now targeted his peers. His actions may have finally caught up to him, which could lead to his dismissal from the NFL. There has finally been a taste of justice in the murder case of Washington Redskins safety Sean Taylor, who was gunned down in his home in 2007. After 16 hours of deliberation, the jury finally convicted 23-year-old Eric Rivera Jr. of second-degree murder and armed burglary. According to testimonies, the murder occurred when Rivera and 5 other young men broke into Sean Taylor's home looking for cash. They assumed Taylor would be away at the Redskins game in Tampa Bay, not knowing he would actually be home due to a knee injury. Taylor, a Pro Bowl safety and standout at the University of Miami, was respected throughout the league by teammates and opponents alike. He was only 24 at the time of his death. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't done yet. they beat the Oakland Raiders on a record-making day. Nick Foles threw for 7 touchdowns to uplift the Eagles, who have been at the center of the quarterback controversy since hiring Chip Kelly. Foles started out hot by engineering touchdown drives in the first 4 offensive drives of the game. Despite the historic day, fans took to Twitter to express their displeasure of the sporadic performance of their quarterbacks. Comments such as "Nick Foles Gold" and "I'm buying a Nick Foles jersey, but I'm definitely keeping the receipt." The Eagles will take on Green Bay Packers next week, who will be without their all-pro quarterback Aaron Rodgers. On Wednesday, October 30th, the Boston Red Sox beat the St. Louis Cardinals for their 3rd title in the past decade. This was Boston's first World Series win at home in 95 years. Boston had a 3-2 series lead and came out strong with Shane Victorino scoring a 3-run double in the bottom of the 3rd and Stephen Drew crushing a solo home run in the 4th. The Cardinals were only able to put 1 run on the board with an RBI single by Carlos Beltran in the 7th. The game ended 6-1, and David Ortiz was named the most valuable player. The win was emotional for many people, with the Boston Marathon bombings happening earlier this year, and making the series more than just a championship for the Red Sox and the residents of Boston.
Castleton's Residence Life presented students with Halloween activities at this year's Fall Fest. Here is Daly Crowley with more on the story.
This Halloween, Castleton students celebrated by attending Residence Life's Fall Fest.
This is a Residence Life event. Every year we do what's called a Program Palooza Week, and this is kind of part of that. And it's just kind of a way to get our name out there, to be recognized. Residence Life puts it on every year, and we want to give back to our students for everything that they do for us, so we kind of bring a bunch of things in for them, and hopefully they attend. So
this is actually my first year going to Fall Fest. It's really great. I like free stuff, so yay, free stuff.
There was 3 other SCAs, including myself, that were working with the ACs and helped plan some of the events that are in here and the tie-dye outside, and as well as individual staffs planning their own events, which will happen later tonight. I think this is a lot more successful than Fall Fest last year. We advertised really hard and we tried to get the word out there, and so far it's paying off.
Later on today we're doing a Halloween costume contest in Houghton, 5 to 7. And then tonight we're doing haunted tours of the residence halls, which is going to be a spectacular fun night.
This is just a warm-up for spring, for like the spring block party that Residence Life is going to be putting on too, because Residence Life is really hoping to make a bigger impact on campus this year with some big programs.
Daly Crowley, CSC News, Castleton.
Castleton and many of the other schools in the Vermont State College system have blood draws every year, but soon there might be a big change. Student Government Association President Timothy McIntosh is hoping to inject a little healthy competition between the VSC schools like Rutland and Boston have with each other over the Gift of Life marathons. There might even be a trophy for the schools that collect the most pints of blood. McIntosh said the trophy would be awarded based on pints of blood per capita so that it is fair to all the other schools. It would not be restricted to students or faculty of the schools either, as community members would be welcome to donate as well. The SGA is also looking into providing a free shuttle service to the Spartan Stadium and back for the hockey games. Students would get a free ticket to the games and half-price appetizers at X-Bar in the Diamond Run Mall.
According to National Geographic, marine scientists have discovered a new species of humpback dolphin off the Australian coast. The new discovery came when the Wildlife Conservation Society tried to settle a dispute among other marine mammal researchers. There was a debate for many years on the number of species of humpback dolphins. Scientists have only recognized 2 species, the Atlantic humpback dolphin and the Indo-Pacific humpback dolphin. It is rare to find a new species of mammals. The Wildlife Conservation Society plans to help conserve the Australian humpback dolphin from fisheries and from being hunted.
According to USA Today, on NBC's Meet the Press, former GOP presidential candidate Mitt Romney charged President Obama this past Sunday with fundamental dishonesty about the law's benefits. Romney accused President Obama of lying to Americans about whether they could keep their health insurance, suggesting the Affordable Care Act is undermining his former rival's second White House term. The Obama administration has stressed in the recent days that people who lose their health care coverage because their existing plan does not meet the minimum standards under the federal law will be able to get better insurance coverage required by the CARE Act. Romney also rejected comparisons Obama has made between problems with the national law and its dysfunctional website, healthcare.gov. Current Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick, in his own interview on Meet the Press, rebuffed Romney's claim that Massachusetts' health law would be a model for the rest of the country. Patrick described the website as a convenience that, when working, will allow consumers to shop insurance plans.
Thanks for joining us, and tune in next time.
I'm Kayla Cannell-Cousineau.
And I'm Juliana Combs. We'll be your host for this week.
Hey Juliana, if you could bring anyone to your Thanksgiving dinner, who would it be?
Brad Pitt.
Zach and Josh asked Castleton who they would bring.
It's November here at Castleton State College, and that means a couple things. No Shave November, and of course, Thanksgiving break. We thought we'd ask a few students who they'd like to invite to their ideal Thanksgiving dinner.
I really talked to Jeff Koons because he's the artist who did the big balloon dog and all the big balloon things out of steel, and I thought that was really cool. He's my favorite artist, so I think I'd like to talk to him. It's pretty cool.
Hell, I'd probably say Tupac Shakur. You know, he's a good guy. He'll throw out some raps, maybe some Hennessy out there. Good times.
I'd have to say the singer Pink, because she's really awesome. She's very much so about self-positivity and being having a positive self-image. And a lot of her music has helped me through high school and all that jazz.
J.K. Rowling's.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Stephen King would come to my freaking house for Thanksgiving. And we'd talk about all the good books and all the creepy shit he wrote, because he scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I'd probably want to invite Columbus. I think that'd be fun, just to... I know the real history behind what he did. I think it'd be fun to kind of sit down and talk to him about how it was actually finding the new people in Hispaniola. I think it'd be cool. I'm gonna ask him why he did all the bad things he did, but it'd be fun.
Might make for an awkward Thanksgiving dinner.
It would.
Just being in theater, I'd probably ask Robert Downey Jr. or Johnny Depp or someone in my field who I admire.
I think I'd invite Charlie Chaplin because that would be so funny.
I think I'd have to say Jennifer Lawrence, definitely. Yep.
Totally be Dante Alighieri. Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. He'd be such a cool guest to have at the table. Hear about the Inferno, hear about Beatrice, have an hour talk about Beatrice at Thanksgiving dinner.
David Tennant. Or Tom Baker. One of those two.
Emerald the Cook. Definitely.
I think my grandma and Rachel Ray.
Castleton Videomagazine presents tips on how to stay healthy and happy this cold and flu season. Be sure to wash your hands. Get a lot of sleep. Stay away from drugs and alcohol. And drink plenty of water. Cover your cough. If you have an issue, please use a tissue.
Are you trying to get the control down of Zen Pinball 2 on the PS3? Are you having a difficult time? Look no further. Here are the basics that will get you started in the right direction. First, to launch the ball, bring the right analog stick in the down position and let go. To use the flippers, right flipper is R1 and left is L1. If you're about to lose a ball, you do have the option to tilt. Just simply move the left analog stick But be careful, you only have 3 tilts per ball, and you only have 3 balls. These are the basics of pinball to get you started to become a pinball champion. Keep practicing and playing hard, and your score will eventually be number 1. I am Danny Chaffee, CVM News, Castleton.
Cooking is such a drag.
Yeah, I thought so too, but then Allie showed me how to make a quick and easy Italian meal.
Hey everyone! So today we'll be making a chicken and pasta dish. It tastes really good and it's really easy to make. So now that I've washed my hands and tied my hair back, I'm just going to go through a couple of the ingredients that we're going to need to make this dish. So first we have some olive oil, a box of pasta, a can of tomatoes diced, 1 onion, and some garlic. And then we're also going to use some breadcrumbs, some grated cheese, and a package of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So I've taken the chicken out of the package and I've cleaned it in the sink. Just rinse it off with a little bit of cold water, not hot water because you don't want to cook the chicken. And I'm cutting it into bite-sized pieces. And I'm just setting it aside in a bowl for when we're ready to cook. And when cleaning the chicken, you want to make sure you get off all the fat, and I like to cut out the it sounds so morbid. I like to cut out the blood vessel-y things. I don't particularly like to eat those. And you want to make the cubes of chicken relatively the same size so that when you cook them, they cook evenly. See, like that. You want them relatively the same size. So I've cubed all the raw chicken and I put it in a bowl and I'm just going to season it with a little bit of this spicy garlic pepper and some salt. So now what we're going to do is dice up some garlic, and I'm just going to use 2 cloves. So what I'm doing is peeling and finely dicing up 2 cloves of garlic. You can also buy garlic just pre-diced, but it doesn't taste as good. Now what we're going to do is dice a small onion. This is a Vidalia onion, but you can really use any type of small sweet onion. Okay, so we're going to put the stove on medium heat, and we're going to add anywhere from 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I usually just eyeball it. And we're going to add the garlic. Okay, so now that our garlic has started to do this, can you hear it? Now that our garlic has started to sizzle in the oil a little bit, you don't want to burn it, so I'm just going to adjust the heat and lower it a little bit. And we're going to add in the onion. And you're going to saute this onion until it's translucent. So it's a little like see-through. And just sort of get it coated in the oil. And right now I'm just using a spatula, but you can use a spoon, it doesn't matter. So we're going to let that simmer away for probably another 2 to 3 minutes. A nice thing about when you're cooking something like this is if you live in an apartment off campus, or even if you're on campus cooking, is it smells really good. So it'll make your apartment or your house smell really good. Or if you're on campus, everyone's going to be down the hall and be like, oh my gosh, who's cooking delicious garlicky things. And if you're like me and you like making friends, food's a good way to do it because everyone eats. Okay, so now that this has been simmering for a couple minutes, we're going to add in the diced chicken. That wasn't as pretty as I wanted it to be. And you want it to space out. You want to give the chicken room, don't crowd it, so that it gets cooked evenly. You don't have like raw pieces randomly. And you're going to cook this chicken for probably about 2 or 3 minutes on each side, so just make sure you're stirring and turning it. Chicken's been cooking for about 5 or 6 minutes, and it's almost cooked all the way through. A good tip, like if you want to check to see if the chicken's cooked, I like to just press it, and you can sort of feel like if it's really mushy, then it's not fully cooked all the way, but like other pieces like that are smaller get cooked faster. So you can press those, you can sort of feel that they're almost pretty much thoroughly cooked through. So that's why it's important to cube the chicken relatively around the same size. And also you want to make them not too big because you want them to be bite-sized. You want them to like fit nicely because you're going to stir them in as a sauce with the pasta. But you don't want them to be so small that it's like ground chicken. Because I mean you can do that. You can use ground chicken for this. But I personally like to have like the bites of the chicken. But you can definitely substitute ground chicken, which I guess would make this sort of like a chicken bolognese, because it's usually made with beef. So the chicken's just about cooked. So what we're going to do next is add our can of diced tomatoes. And then just stir that in. So at this point, after adding the tomatoes in, this would be where you'd add vegetables if you like, depending on if you're using cooked or frozen vegetables. I would say for frozen vegetables, depending on how frozen they are, I would cook for maybe another 5 minutes. And if they're cooked vegetables, maybe just 2 or 3 just to get them warmed back up on the same heat level as the sauce. An important step is you want to cook the pasta for 10 to 11 minutes, or if you're using a different kind than penne, sometimes it says a different time, but 10 to 11 is the standard. So when you're cooking the pasta, when it's just about time, you want to check and make sure it's not too overcooked. So kind of check it pretty early. And this needs another minute or so. So we'll put on the timer for a minute. Once the pasta is fully cooked, you're going to drain it and then put it into a bowl with about a tablespoon of butter. Mix that around and then add the sauce in. When you're done, you have the option to add some cubes of mozzarella cheese and some finely chopped parsley. Enjoy and good luck.
Hey, didn't Ben and Mike go to Glen Lake the other day?
Yeah, I think so. Let's go take a look at Glen Lake and its majestic wonders. Well, that was fun. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. But for now, I'm Kayla Cannell-Kuznow.
And I'm Juliana Combs, and we'll hope you join us next week.